up on block management, Hunter Red Colony, and we have four vehicles together. Now we're coming, and they're leaving, which makes me a bit nervous. I don't like that. I don't like this at all. Slow down, boys.
It means you stop.
You got your block management slip with you? You haven't signed in yet? Okay. How come you haven't signed in yet?
Montana's antelope hunt is underway. Region 5 game wardens have their hands full.
They all come out of the woodwork for antelope opener.
Montana State Game Warden Nick Taylor patrols massive sections of block management land, private property open to public hunting.
This is the busiest time of year in this warden district is an opener of antelope. One thing that you have to realize and be completely honest with yourself is you can't check them all. You can't catch them all. And so you got to do the best you can. You got to concentrate, and you just got to be thorough where you're at, because wherever you're at, stuff's going on, and definitely where you're not at, stuff's going on. This block management that we're on right here, right around 1,000 hunters a year come to this ranch and hunt. So what we want to make sure is part of what we do today is compliance, because it's just a sign-in box block management area, and if a hunter doesn't sign in before they hunt, they're in violation, and they will receive a citation today.
Private landowners agree to open property to public hunting. In turn, all hunters agree to sign a sort of permission slip to hunt the property.
The block management program, it's a public hunting access program on private lands.
How's it going?
Bad house.
Well, we haven't seen any dead antelope yet, so.
A bunch of them right up on the hill there. Not dead ones, but.
Yeah.
The wardens, biologists, regional access coordinators, all work with private landowners throughout Montana to enroll their lands in the block management program.
The state pays landowners to open their property to hunting. That allows people to have access to some of Montana's best property.
Well, don't let any hunters give you any crap for trailing cows, so. We'll see you, Jim. Yeah, later. Yep. So that's the landowner. You know, they're the ones that are allowing all the access to all this property. And so anytime they're allowing public access to the property, we want to work with them the best we can in any fashion to continue to have sportsmen hunt on them, have access. So, but he did say there's some antelope on this bench, so maybe we want to head up there.
As Warden Taylor looks for the herd, he spots a potentially dangerous situation.
Looks like you had yourself some luck today.
He also notices a problem.
For the area.
Okay.
2 dead antelope, 1 hunter, no tag.
Okay, how come we didn't tag this thing?
State Game Warden Lee Burrows patrols Montana Region 5. He checks on 3 hunters accessing a piece of private property open to public hunting.
Got an antelope, and so I'm just going to wait until they get back to the vehicle, and then we'll just check, make sure they validated their tag, make sure they have permission from the landowner that they know where they were hunting. Looks like somebody had some luck, huh?
You got a nice antelope.
Nice.
Yeah, nice one, too.
Good. So your very first antelope, huh?
Yeah, she's 12 years old.
Good. So how'd the hunt go?
A lot of time on his hands and knees out there.
So you put the sneak on them?
It wasn't easy.
Well, good job, Divinity.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud.
Yeah, well, you should be. That's a nice antelope. That's a very nice.
All licenses and tags check out.
Well, it doesn't get any better than that. All right, good job, guys.
FG4952 on Region 4 digital.
Meanwhile, fellow Region 5 Warden Nick Taylor keeps an eye on a piece of block management land.
One of the most important things a hunter can do when using these block management areas is to make sure they read the rules and regulations. Some areas only allow certain species. Some may limit whether you can shoot a buck or a doe or a cow or a bull.
Landowners can set the access rules for their property, but hunters must follow the law of the land. Warden Taylor confronts a hunter who might not have followed the regulations.
So the little buck is back over there.
Okay.
Kind of in line with it.
Okay.
The warden checks both harvested animals. He sees a problem.
It definitely wasn't.
Can I see your tag there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Too often, hunters do not properly tag harvested animals. Instead, they hold on to their tag in hopes of shooting a bigger animal.
So when about did you shoot it,
I'd
Richard?
say it was probably about 7:15, right in there. 7:15, 7:20.
Okay. Okay. Well, right now it's about 9:45, 8:45 right now. Okay. And as you see here, this tag says you got to tag this thing immediately upon kill. Right?
Yep.
Okay. How come you didn't tag this thing?
When I was just working on that one, I was coming over to do this one.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, we take this tag immediately upon kill very serious. Once you have an animal down, you have to tag it. We've been down the road for over a half hour watching you, okay? And being that these animals are in such close vicinity, this animal should have been tagged, okay?
Yep.
Okay. So today, we do have a violation, okay? And I am going to address the violation with a citation, okay? And I'm also going to seize the antelope. And I know this upsets you,
No, it's.
but I just can't have it, Richard. I just can't have people not taking critters. I really struggled issuing a citation and seizing that antelope from that guy. The challenge is that you know you might be dealing with a good person, but they've committed a crime, and you need to address it for a couple reasons. I need to be fair to everybody I deal with. Everybody deserves a break, but everybody also deserves to be held accountable for their actions. And I need to be consistent. I'm gonna be parked over there. I'm gonna take this with me. I am gonna issue a citation.
Warden Taylor issues a $135 citation and confiscates the animal.
The meat from confiscated game animals in the state of Montana are taken to a butcher. It'll be butchered at probably a reduced cost with the local butcher, and that meat is distributed throughout the community in the food bank network. Here's your copy.
So, yeah.
All right, well, enjoy your trip here in Harlow.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you, Richard.
Almost immediately, the warden spots another group of hunters and another violation. This will prove to be a busy day for the wardens.
Beginning in 1936, Montana required hunters to wear an article of red clothing. But due to an increase in hunting accidents attributed to the low visibility of red, Montana moved to the current hunter orange requirements in the early 1970s. During this transition, people questioned the validity of game's optical awareness towards hunter's orange. Humans have a 3-color vision, which allows us to see various wavelengths in the light spectrum. Ungulates have a 2-color vision. This enables sensitivity towards shorter wavelengths. Therefore, out in the wild, a human's perception of hunter's orange is more distinguishable than big game. Recent studies have found other fluorescent colors, such as pink, to have a higher visibility than hunter's orange. But who's gonna wear it? Winston Greeley, out among Montana's fish, wildlife, and parks.
In Montana, Region 5 Game Warden Nick Taylor keeps a close eye on antelope hunters. This weekend proves to be busy.
It's a daily challenge.
You guys have any luck today? Last year I checked 2 Canadians from British Columbia with antelope on their bikes.
In half a day's work, the warden makes contact with more than 50 hunters.
It's another day in the life as a Montana game warden.
That's not even right.
Most of his discussions focus on minor rule violations.
Not just the males you need to keep evidence sex on. All of them you need to keep evidence sex on. I'm just gonna write you guys some warnings. And these are the kind of guys that you tell them once, these guys aren't gonna have a problem with this again. So I'm certain of that.
All right, guys.
Hey, Nick.
Have a safe trip. See you guys.
and try to make good contacts with people.
Very good. Well, we'll see you later.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
When I came up, I saw the tag wasn't on there. You got to make sure that tag's attached. I got to keep moving, so congratulations.
All right.
That person that woke up this morning going, I'm going to violate a fish and game law. That's who we want to check today. And come check it out. This guy's got something.
What are you laughing at? Whatever.
You can't check them all. You can't catch them all. Violations are happening everywhere. You just got to concentrate where you're at, not constantly thinking where you're not at.
After lunch, the warden spots hunters driving on state land. In Montana, state land is off limits to cars and trucks.
We had just gotten a pursuit in the stubble field on a piece of state land, and this pursuit went much longer than I thought it would. Much earlier actually, I initiated my takedown lights in my patrol vehicle, and I remember the chase. The pursuit proceeded through several coulees on kind of some grassy knolls off the grain field, the stubble field.
What is going on? All right, so these guys are on the state land right now. That means you stop.
The warden initiates a stop.
I parked my vehicle, and I was visible in a way that I wanted both vehicles to stop immediately because we'd been in a pursuit. How we doing? I got out of the vehicle, and I was a little bit nervous because I was exposed because there wasn't any cover in a stubble field, but I was trying to put my vehicle in an area where I was between both trucks so I could stop both trucks. You got your block management slip with you?
The sign-in slip? Yeah. You haven't signed in yet.
You haven't signed in yet?
No.
Okay. How come you haven't signed in yet?
He came from down there. Dan's a friend of mine.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're on state land right here. You can't drive on state land, okay? The hood rights might give you permission to hunt to drive on their deeded, but not on state, okay?
Okay, I didn't know
All
it
right.
was state.
And is this your buddies with you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
A local hunter says he asked his friends to follow him in a second vehicle. He takes responsibility for driving on state land.
You know, if you want to take sole responsibility, you brought them up here, they're kind of following you, they kind of expect you to know the regulations, stuff like that, and I can appreciate that.
But the longer they talk, the more Warden Taylor suspects foul play.
Well, here's the deal. When you guys are driving all over, you're driving on state land.
The warden checks licenses and notices the men have only antelope tags, but they admit to hunting birds.
When you say you have an upland bird license and you don't got one, we got a problem.
So they were not completely honest with us.
The warden hands over 2 tickets for hunting without a proper license and 1 for driving on state land. Total cost, a little over $400. Hopping back in his truck, Nick notices a missed Tipmont call.
Tipmont, this is Lori.
Hi, Lori. This is Nick Taylor, game warden in Harlowton. I think I just missed a call from you.
You did.
Nick talks to dispatch at Tipmont, Montana's turn-in poachers hotline. Witnesses to violations can call the phone line 24 hours a day.
Jumped out, shot 3 of the 4 antelope, threw them in the truck, and they took off.
Can we get somebody headed that way? I got a white Chevy and I got a license plate coming out of Haymaker.
So it sounds like these guys kind of did a dash and grab, shot a bunch of antelope and loaded them up whole and took off. Hopefully they pulled off somewhere and they're gutting them.
Warden Taylor calls for backup. He phones nearby sheriff deputies to help search for the truck. Officers cover local roads hoping to spot the suspects.
We're going to a call and we are running code. We do have our red and blues running. But one thing that you always got to remember as a law enforcement officer is to just be safe and never endanger somebody else on the road. Oh, we got a white truck right there. Way to go, Sheriff. What do you got?
They're claiming they were up on Olson, said they did everything legal, they got everything they're supposed to have, everything's tagged. I have not checked tags.
Okay.
I'll move out of the way and let this officer come. So tell me about the interaction you guys had with the other individual.
He came up after we shot and said that was pretty unethical shooting through the road.
and dropping 3 antelope. And I said, we didn't drop 3. Because I shot one and he shot one, and there's still one out there.
These hunters say they broke no laws. Warden Taylor isn't convinced.
So it sounds to me like at the area there should be some brass still there. Does that sound about right?
Sure there is.
Yeah.
But what I do need you guys to do is help me out a little bit. We need to return back to the kill site and see where these antelope were shot. Okay? So if you guys wouldn't mind turning around, I'd sure appreciate it.
After answering a tip call, Montana Game Warden Nick Taylor tracks down hunters accused of illegally harvesting antelope.
And were they all in a group?
Warden Taylor questions the 3 men.
And John, do you remember, how many times do you remember you shot?
I think about 5, I think.
All right, thanks guys, I'll just follow you, okay?
The warden escorts the hunters back to the spot they killed their antelope. Taylor hopes evidence might clear up this case.
All righty, gentlemen. So help me break her down.
Brad, drop this off here.
Okay.
And then down, roll underneath.
Okay.
The men show the warden exactly where they stood when each fired their rifles.
So it sounds like you got yours first. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go up to the block management box to see if we can find your slip? Okay.
All hunters must sign permission slips before they hunt block management land. One man can't show his paperwork. The warden suspects he'll find the man's signature at the sign-in station if the hunter is telling the truth.
Donald, I'm not seeing it in here.
What?
So here is, let me show you.
No, there was two books in here. Right there.
Dawn.
I got it backwards.
Yeah.
I noticed that after I signed it there. First name's Dawn.
All right.
Name's Lesser.
All right. You had me there.
I was like, no way, I did. I remember doing that.
Turns out, their story adds up.
Well, guys, you know, contrary to what I was told, things look different. Yeah. So, appreciate you coming up here. I got nothing for you.